In 2016, something happened on the busy waterfront of Shanghai that stunned many. A young Ukrainian model named Dasha Bulba vanished without a trace. In a city known for having one of the most extensive CCTV networks in the world, her disappearance was especially baffling. She seemed to simply dissolve into the crowd right in front of passers-by. Yet no camera caught anything unusual. So where did Dasha go? Now, before you accuse me of telling yet another disappearance story without a conclusion, I'll say this up front: no one knows. But this case is packed with strange details, unanswered questions, and theories that are hard to ignore. Today, we'll dive into the mystery of Dasha Bulba. This is the channel where we explore real crimes and unexplained phenomena. If that's your thing, subscribe, and let's begin. Dasha Bulba was a talented model from Odessa, Ukraine. Her natural beauty and charisma promised a bright future and a carefree life. And things were going just as planned, until that one fateful day when she was walking along the lively streets of Shanghai, singing and dancing to music in her headphones, and disappeared. That disappearance, right in the heart of a city where every pole holds multiple cameras, has haunted her family and those who've heard her story for 8 years. Dasha was born in 1995 and was a natural performer since childhood. She sang, played guitar, and had a captivating presence. After high school, she enrolled in college, but soon realized that a traditional path wasn't for her. She was drawn to the world of fashion. Dasha took modeling courses, and her striking features quickly got noticed. She began appearing in magazines and ad campaigns, working not only in Ukraine but across Europe and Asia, Greece, Turkey, Italy, and Taiwan. So when a Chinese modeling agency offered her a contract, she took it without hesitation. Moving to Shanghai was just the next exciting step. Her family had no reason to worry. Dasha was in touch with them every day, sharing her adventures via phone and social media. Life was good. Everything changed on August 6, 2016. That day, she didn't call her parents. Her roommate said Dasha had gone to meet a man she didn't know well and never returned. Panicked, the family contacted the Ukrainian consulate and asked them to report her missing to local police. The authorities launched a search. Back in Ukraine, her parents went on national TV begging for any information. Daily calls to Shanghai brought no comfort. Dasha's father eventually flew to China himself to join the search. Police discouraged him, saying an emotional father might interfere with the investigation. But the deeper they dug, the stranger the story became. It turned out that Dasha had received several calls from an unknown number asking her to meet at a hotel. She went, but no one showed. Friends later said it felt like the caller was tracking how she got to the location, maybe watching her from a distance. Shanghai's busy streets and towering buildings hide dark secrets. Dasha's vanishing felt like something out of a novel. In fact, it reminded people of a book called The Shanghai Puzzle, a thriller where a man disappears from a mansion full of guests and is later found insane 5 kilometers away. Dasha's story began to resemble that kind of twisted tale. Then the narrative shifted. A new theory emerged, that Dasha was supposed to meet a friend who had flown in from Moscow that day. But when police couldn't find suspects or clear motives, they leaned toward suicide. They speculated Dasha might have felt overwhelmed and taken her own life. Her parents refused to accept that. 2 more months passed before Dasha's father was finally allowed to meet with investigators. Getting there was a bureaucratic nightmare, and what police told him was even worse. They claimed Dasha had been behaving abnormally because she was walking along the waterfront dancing to her music. They said that's how intoxicated people act. According to them, she vanished when she stepped into a camera blind spot between two security zones. Their theory: she drowned in the sea while under the influence. Dasha's father had to go back to the consulate and demand a more thorough investigation. With diplomatic pressure, a second meeting was arranged, this time with officials from Immigration, Water Patrol, and the Investigative Task Force. It was revealed that Dasha hadn't left the country. Water police said sonar scans found no body or belongings in the river. In such conditions, items usually wash into certain collection zones. The absence of anything gave hope. Maybe she was still alive. Surveillance footage showed her walking along the waterfront, but she never appeared on the next camera. A psychologist analyzed her behavior and found no signs of distress or intoxication. She looked completely normal. The police claimed to have checked all hospitals, morgues, and jails. Nothing. Dasha had simply vanished in the span of a few meters on a busy street. While in China, her father ran his own investigation. He spoke with her roommates and modeling agent. They all said the police pressured them during interrogation, sometimes up to 8 hours, to say that Dasha was mentally unstable. But friends insisted everything had been going great. She had tons of work and was in high demand. When talking with locals, Dasha's father noticed they were hesitant to help. People seemed afraid to speak openly, especially about the police. Officers claimed to be investigating but provided no results. Her modeling agency confirmed Dasha had no issues at work, and if they'd seen any problems, they would have sent her home immediately. They even printed flyers and handed them out near the subway. But soon police told them to stop and warned them against interfering, threatening serious consequences. Then came an eerie twist. Dasha's V-contact profile became active again. Logins came from different regions across China. Her father reported it to police, but they brushed it off, saying anyone could have hacked her account. To the family, this only confirmed their suspicions. No one was really looking for her. Worse, police began changing the timeline. At first, they said she disappeared at 5:10 a.m. But her parents showed evidence she'd been online at 7:45. Then police claimed her phone was still active after 8 a.m. But when her father asked for call records, they refused, citing investigation secrecy and technology limitations. He lost hope in the Chinese authorities and pursued the case himself. He turned his attention to a mysterious friend, Pavel Donguzashvili, whom Dasha had met on a previous trip to China. All attempts to contact Pavel failed. Unlike others, he avoided all interaction. Neighbors and shopkeepers said they often saw Dasha with Pavel. The Ukrainian consulate officially requested he be questioned, but they found out Pavel had left China for Georgia the day after Dasha vanished, even though he'd been living and working in Shanghai for 5 years. Later, Pavel reappeared, contacting Dasha's father and offering to sell him the name of the person responsible for her disappearance. He claimed his Chinese girlfriend's brother was a police officer and had kidnapped Dasha out of jealousy. But when the father said he'd only pay if it helped find her, Pavel claimed it was just a joke, the entire story made up. Despite this, Pavel returned to China. Even though the strange conversation was reported, police never brought him in for questioning. All leads went cold. The case faded. Her family stayed in touch with the consulate, but authorities seemed to lose interest. Shanghai police insisted this was the first case of a foreign national disappearing without a trace in their city. Over the years, the mystery has generated countless theories. Some believe Dasha was recruited by Chinese intelligence, offered a job in the aerospace sector, and vanished to cover her new identity. Another theory came from her mother. Dasha may have been eliminated by competitors. Just before her disappearance, she had received an offer from Chanel. Could jealousy have played a role? A darker version, human trafficking. One model claimed to have seen Dasha in a club after she vanished. When she called out to her, Dasha turned, but was grabbed by two men and dragged out. There's also a theory that Dasha may have become involved in drugs. Close friends admitted she occasionally used illegal substances and even posted photos of her collection online. Some believe she may have started dealing and crossed the wrong people. Each theory adds another layer to the mystery, revealing the dark possibilities behind the glamorous world of modeling. Official investigations raised just as many questions. Police continued to push the idea of suicide, suggesting her body may have been carried off by a passing ship. But no evidence ever supported this. Timeline inconsistencies, strange behavior by police, and suspicious acquaintances like Pavel. All of it remains unresolved. Imagine being Dasha's parents. Years later, they still stare at an empty chair, wondering where she is. Her friends still look for answers. And that waterfront in Shanghai still holds the secret, unspoken and unsolved.